Outer Orange.
Hi! We officially have stats, and some people have already mentioned this, and I think this is so good, and I'm so excited about this. And it's not just Vanguard, it's actually Vanguard, Vice, and Shadowverse. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see a little better. I'm like actually ecstatic that. Anyway, Luxury Short Events, if you guys don't know, is basically a kind of a newer Twitter account that they actually made for stuff like this, for basically all the events that are happening. So this is basically what this is for you guys don't know what this is. Some people actually don't know this thing exists. Like, it's not, it doesn't have too many followers yet, but I don't think they pushed it super hard, but I don't know yet. There's the Vanguard ones. So we're gonna look at them all. It's actually on the website, so you yourself can just go here and look at this, and it's very exciting because I think a while back we used to have like just basically the results and like who got first, second, third, and all that stuff, but now we have the tournament deck distribution. And it's great. And then they now also added in like the actual deck logs of, you know, the winning list and all that stuff, which is also really cool. So here you can see we had DOGE in first place for standard, and we had runner-up Ken with Zorga. And then after that, we had another DOGE, shocking, I know, with Alec, which is Bootman. And then we also had fourth place with Lander using Leonor. And this is Leonor before all the new stuff. So this will before set 4. And keep in mind, this is set 4. I expect this to shift a little bit when we go into set 4 meta, which would be Duluth. That should be the first event that has this. I don't know if Europe or any of the other events fall on the same weekend or not, but that should be the first weekend where we have set 4 officially legal. And I expect to see maybe Lyrical kind of go up a little bit and Brandgate go up a little bit, and everything else is kind of just slightly lower. And maybe Dragon Empire might lower by like a smidge because El Padilla will be a deck and a lot of people will be playing that. Other might stay the same. We don't have any like great collabs, but the new Cat Girl comes out too. Leonor gets the new stuff, which will make her stronger, so I can see Stoke kind of getting bumped up a little bit. Dark States with Blagmire might, but basically long story short, I think this is going to go down and the rest are going to go slightly up in terms of like deck representation, but we'll see. So I just noticed this, but the first place person isn't running the full stealth triggers. Props to you, person. Whoever you are that got first place, props to you. I support this movement. I support the Bang Dream triggers in your Doji deck movement. I have it too. Don't you worry. I am also part of this movement. You see, this isn't my Doji deck. That's my Leonor deck. I'll get my Doji deck like a good kid. See this Doji deck right here? Right here? Yeah, it's got Bang Dream triggers in it. Like we're gaming. We are this is true peak bit. This is how you play Doji. This is how you play Doji. I just wanted it to be known, and it's clearly proven through first place. It's right there in front of you. The first place list is doing it too. So join the movement. Make your triggers into Bang Dream triggers. Be one of the cooler kids. Don't be a stealth enjoyer. I actually want to discuss this deck just a little bit while we're here talking about statistics and stuff like that. I've been testing a lot of Doji, and I mean a lot. A pretty standard list, and I think going standard with Doji is actually honestly probably the better route. I've been experimenting with like arcs, and I wasn't even gonna talk about arcs because I thought the card was kind of cracked, and I was like, that's not that great. I think if you want to compete and you're really trying your hardest and you really want to win and you're like a really big fan of Doji, I actually think this is probably one of the most streamlined lists. This card right here is like really good. This card is actually insane. It's not like a 4 of insane, but I think 1 to 2 copies is a really good spot. You could theoretically drop a Kagechika for it, but I actually like Kagechika too, so kind of like. Anyway, long story short, this card is just really good. Going second and being able to drop this card is really good. It also has a secondary effect, which I always forget about until I actually read it. But you can actually Energy Blast 3, call a grade 1. What to do? You're gonna call Kinrain, guys! Crazy, I know. The most broken card in your deck, you're gonna call it. Or you can call it Kagechika or like a Counter Charger, depending on the situation. But usually you'll ideally be calling the Kinrain. So yeah, the second effect is actually really good too. So yeah, I recommend this list. I think it's actually a very good list. You can technically like move some stuff around a little bit. Like I said, you can probably drop this for a second cycle or do vice versa, drop this for a second copy of Kagechika, and you basically have a standard Doji deck. So they got first place for a reason. It does what it does best. There's Zorga as well. I was a little surprised to see Zorga make it through this far. I think Zorga, especially pure, which this is a pure list, but I think Zorga struggles into decks like Doji. But they are running a little bit of like a faster engine. But I will say this deck is a little bit faster than your usual Zorga deck. But the issue I have with this deck is it's all your stuff gets unbound against Doji, and that's really awful. I guess you have like this card to kind of help fix that problem since it gets 10k and also counts as an order if you were to discard it, yada yada yada. I don't know though. I don't know. I actually don't know. I am a little weird about about this one because there's a reason I'm not playing Zorga, right? I would be on this deck. And part of the reason is that this is a really rough matchup with the DOGE. You also have to like unbrick, and if you're going second, this deck kind of falls off. And I don't know, but they are running a good order lineup. It's surprising enough they're not running 4, but all they're running this instead, even though they do have the roaming prisons. But they also are running the other grade 2. They're basically running 5 of the revival cards, which is usually 5 is usually a good sweet spot if you're going for like a more pure build. If you're going for like the mix build with the max deck, then you have to run the keels. Like the keels take up that slot, which are also revival cards. But anyway, it worked for them. They got second place. I ain't complaining. I also think this card's crazy. This card's really good. It gets something power, and then it gives power, and then when it boosts, it gets like additional power on top of that. This card's actually pretty cracked in terms of like number distribution. Very, very good card. This card's insane. I'm actually surprised that this card's at 2 and this card's at 2 because these are both the same card for their second effect, and their first effect is different. This one mills you, and this one counts as an order. But the second effect, they both get 10k. They're also running the abduction, which is like interesting. I'm very iffy about abduction personally, but that's just me. Every Zorga player is different. Just want to let that be known. We all have our different ways of playing this deck, so while I don't agree with some of the cards that are in here, it doesn't mean that the cards are bad. It's just that we probably play differently. And Bell is also an interesting combination, also an interesting thing to add. What's interesting about this is that you're unbinding the cards that you're binding. And I guess there's reason for it. If you're trying to get like big raw power, like, you know, you can do all your effects first and then use her to unbind so she gets like huge, and then hope that you kill on that turn, because then you have to rebind everything the turn after. I don't really know. Meteoric's obviously insane. This card's just insane because you super bind. This card for the extra drive, really good. The pot of greed is really good. This is the extra board numbers, all that kind of fun stuff. So retire card, more aggro numbers, and then obviously this is just another pot of greed. You can actually double pot of greed. You can go pot of greed into pot of greed and just draw 4. It's really funny to do. Your opponent's just watching you draw 4 cards like for free. By the way, you're like, yeah, it's just something my deck does. Like, it's just normal. So yeah, this overall the list is decent. It's just a normal, I think it's a normal Zorga list with a couple different things, like a little bit of this faster engine going on here, but that's really it. The replace DOGE list, which I believe is almost the same. The difference is the cycler, as you can see here, and the twin cast over the ladder is also here. The Alec is running the ladder over, running twin cast over ladder, and he's running 1 extra Kakachika over the cycler. Basically identical. There's literally a difference in a Regalia's piece and a difference in one card swap, basically. So other than that, the list looks the same. I think they're running fronts. Yeah, they're also running fronts over draws. The other list was running draws. I'm surprised he was able to get away with fronts. I tried fronts and they hurt my soul. Fronts hurt my soul. I could not do fronts, but I see someone else makes it work. I can't make it work. It doesn't work with my approach. I feel like my hand gets too small. I don't know. There's something about draws that just feels so good. The only thing I'm bad about is what's with all these rarity changes. What is going on here? Why is there a 3-1? And why is this 3-1? What is happening here? Why is this 3-1? I hate it here. I hate this. Why is this 3-1? How are you playing this deck with your 3-1s like this? What are you I'm surprised this isn't 3-1. Why isn't this a silver? Why isn't there one silver? I hate it here. Anyway, I'm done complaining about that. Anyway, I think that's it. We also have a 4th place. We have the Leonor player. Let's check out this list real quick. This is the set 3 Leonor, and keep in mind she is going to change just a little bit. Overall, pretty standard list. From what I'm seeing, got the Magnolia Order, Ladder, Mythiarch, 1 PG is foil, 1 from the deck set. Oh, I'm still mad about it. I was still going to be mad about it. No, I hate it here. I understand though, if he picked up the deck set, then it makes sense. But still. Anyway, I'm done being angry. Alvina at 3 is pretty wild. I feel like this is like a really strong 4 of, but I guess they really want to make room for this. Looks like sure, pretty standard. Leonor doing Leonor things. I think Leonor lists for the most part are pretty similar, with the aspects of just some small things moving around here and there. What people value more in terms of like cyclers, broccoli, new grade 2 that's coming out, the grade 1 promo, which is right here. People just kind of jump around between what they prefer to draw into. So, right, I don't know if people are aware of this. It's something I noticed in one of the JP lists, but be careful with the grade 0, guys. This grade 1 has to ride the Roroa. Just something to note. As someone who has this ride line maxed out for a reason, make sure you ride your Roroa. It's actually technically not illegal. It's not a legal turn anymore. Just a little fun fact, there were some JP lists that weren't running this, but it says it on the card. It is a glitter unit, so the glitter cards tend to have that restriction. So make sure when you're running glitter decks, make sure you have that, or glitter pieces. Anyway, so here's premium. Premium was also interesting. I have a buy card for this format, so I actually have to start caring about this format again. Yippee! What a great day to be alive. I have to care about a format I haven't cared about in almost a year. I did this to myself. I entered. I decided to do this. Like, you know what's funny? I've never had won a buy card before. I've given away like half of the ones I pseudo won. Like, there was like times where I was like, oh, I'm gonna win here. Oh, I think I lose here. So I concede and get it. Like, I was playing Ballista and I conceded my buy card, like dead ass. And then like, recently I conceded my Shadowverse buy card too. It's like the fourth buy card I conceded. So this one I was like, I'm keeping this one. I'm not giving it away. I'm not doing it this time. Neo Nectar being the representative here, along with Grand Blue, Shadow Paladin, Nubatama, and others. The top 4 here of like the most highest brought decks. This is deck distribution, right? So I'm not surprised that Neo Nectar is as popular as it is. It being 12% does not shock me because it is an insanely good deck to take along with Grand Blue. I honestly think these are some of the top 2 contenders if you're like truly caring. Nubatama also being up there. There's definitely a couple decks kind of in between it all that are also good. I would say like Bermuda Triangle kind of falls into some level of this as well. But for the most part, like if you really just want to just hard win, I think these decks are good so long as you don't see bugs, guys. Just don't see bugs and you're fine. And that's all you need to not do. Just don't see bugs. Shadow Paladin is also interesting that the Revenger package is actually pretty strong, but I do think it's really weak going second and very strong going first. Because your G guards are offline, they can kind of like slam your face in before you have a chance to do anything. Pretty aggressive deck, so be on the lookout for this one. I think it's a little bit of a tiny sleeper. I don't think it's the greatest deck ever. It's just really hard to fight into when you're going second. Look at this. So we did get a first place was Katrina. Surprise, surprise. I know. I'm shocked. You're shocked. We're all shocked. Because, you know, when you think about first place, it's always like, is it going to be Grand Blue, Bermuda Triangle, or Neo Nectar? That's like my first 3 thoughts, in my opinion, when it comes to like what would first place look like. But this guy for someone hasn't even touched this format in a year, by the way. Like, I haven't touched this format in a year, and in my brain I was like, I wonder what's gonna win tomorrow, Grand Blue or Neo Nectar? Like, dead ass, that was my thought. Katrina, if you guys don't know, is just extremely aggressive. That's the best way to put it. Extremely aggressive, really good stride turns. Stride turn is extremely brutal, very hard to play around it. Deck thins a lot. It's got like it can up its pace. It can just do like a lot of work. It can do a lot in a deck, and also just going into the actual deck itself. Oh, actually, they're running the stride. Oh my god, why is it so fat again? Oh, well, whatever, I'll just take it. They're running the stride helper as well to kind of help yourself out, and then yeah, you just, you know, grab this, go into this or this or this. Like, you have a bunch of really good Vanguard choices, and then you just kind of live your best life. There really isn't too much going on here. Ever since this card got basically brought back, it's been kind of a night. And we have second place with Nubatama. This is Saya. Now Saya, interestingly enough, is a Bermuda Triangle player. So it was interesting to see Saya not on Bermuda Triangle for once. So I thought that was really interesting. So they're playing Nubatama. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what's been going on in Nubatama. The only thing I do know is there's that new grade 1 that this deck isn't running, by the way. But there's a new grade 1 G guard thing that you could just run. Anyway, I don't know what's going on in Nubatamaville in terms of like building structure. I don't know if this is correct or not. I guess it is. I'm not gonna judge it. I don't play premium. Apparently I do, but I really don't. So it's weird to say because I used to play the absolute shit out of this format, and now I just don't touch it at all. But anyway, maybe this makes sense. He apparently hit Crest a lot, like even with just 2. I've never seen Crest at 2, at least not recently. But like I said, I'm not a Nubatama player, so he got second. If it works, it works. You know, don't fix what ain't broke. We do also have Cardfight Prime with the Highlander. Actually, I briefly had a conversation with him earlier as we were talking about me and Peter were on a you know, like on a Twitter thing talking, and then he like added him to kind of talk about it. But anyway, if I were to be playing Highlander right this very second, this would be an almost identical list to what I'd be playing. The only difference is I actually would have thought about putting this card in when I was thinking about Highlander and it's like context of building the deck, but everything else is like spot on. Like if I would jointly, like I was gonna, when I saw this card, I was like instantly right into Highlander. Right into Highlander. This card's really good in Highlander. Like, you just can't go wrong with those cards. This one, I just didn't really think about it like that, but I can also understand wanting to run this. The Soul Charge does come up, and especially now if you're running little Dragon Boy here, and they are running the draw. Funnily enough, during like I think last year's BCS, BSF. It was BSS. I was also running one singular draw because of the mirror. The mirror mattered, so you wanted to just see one extra card than your Highlander player wanted to see. So this actually comes up really more than you would think it comes up. And also grade 2 gaming can be kind of useful. So the draw is actually not bad. Crits are really nice too, though. That's where the downside is. You still want to see your crits. They're running the Dismo, and massive props to them running the Dismo. Dismo is such a great card. I've been seeing some lists that should be running it, not running it, and I'm like, why? This card's insane. You basically tell a card on your board, and it just can't be touched. We have a runner-up, which is Bugs, and this is actually Peter. I like how it just says Peter. I really fuck with this list because it has Mistoff in it. I'm a big Mistoff fan. If you ever ask Nexus at Night how they feel about Mistoff, they always point at me because I always whip out the Mistoff against them when they're playing Great Nature. Oh, this is a pretty standard list for Bugs. The only real difference is this crazy good card and then the Mistoff, obviously. This is just like the festival cards that people are throwing into their decks. You basically get to get orders back to hand or call a grade 2 from your, or greater from your drop to the board. And as you would think, you can obviously call the good grade 3s. All that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, overall pretty good list. You got the Maple to like replenish board quicker, the normal stuff. Play Mistoff. Card's great. You don't always need it though. This isn't like an always staple. This is like one of those cards that you throw in depending on meta, and Peter decided that this was a card that belonged to the meta at the time that he put it in. So I used to play this card back in the day. Go back to Fuzzy. So first and foremost, if you guys are wanting to enter your top decks and all that kind of fun stuff, there is a place to do that now. You can do it here. You can also go to his website and do it here. So if you're trying to enter your deck lists, this is the place to do it. But I wanted to quickly talk about overall. We kind of talked about the decks. I want to talk about the overall spectrum of things real quick. Oh, it's your first 32 breakdown. Oh my god. This is what top 32 looked like for standard. We do have an innocent little... Oh my god, she just barely made it through. Freaking, what's her name? I don't know why her name isn't coming to me right now, but girl. Freestanding Overlord. Also, some people were really like surprised the Secret Video Mask made it through, but it did. Leticia, thank you. Leticia made it through. Had a Yatsuba made it through. Prison. The Bug Deck. Velstra, Michu, Raziel, Ava, Zorga, Varga, Leonor, and Shoju Doge. It's literally in the picture. You know, you are so right. I'm just stupid. I can't read, guys. I look at the pictures first. I'm one of those people where if I know what I'm looking at, I just say what I'm looking at. If I don't, I just ignore it. But anyway, this is the breakdown. I think the Gravidia is probably the most shocking one of all of this. I am interested to... I think someone posted the deck list too. It was a pretty normal list. It wasn't anything too out there. It was just meteors and the mask package and, you know, the normal stuff. This is what top 16 looked like. Yeah, basically kind of the same, but we lost some of the... We lost the Gravidia, the Yatsuba, and a couple other ones kind of fell off a little bit. Still Ava making through. I think Ava honestly isn't too terrible. Very, very splitsy half and half here of the Shojoji. And then finally we have the final results here, which is what we discussed this earlier, so I'm not going to go into it again. So premium, this is the top 16 breakdown. Is that Leonor you see? Oh. Yeah, that is a Leonor. It does make sense of Bad Bounty. You can go Bad Bounty and then it doesn't care about what you're boosting. So going into top 8 was like this. Basically just more of what we just talked about minus a few decks. And then first place was basically Katrina, and then Iwatama, Reindeer, and Bugs. Hiya! Cooking. It is indeed cooking. Hey, I mean, it makes sense. Now there are two others too. It is the kind of cook you would want to vibe with. I mean, honestly, the rest of the list is normal. It's just the Leonors. The rest of the list is just a normal Grand Blue list. Nothing out of the ordinary. So Counter Chargers, a Bell for protection, some grade 3 searchers. This is a little weird, but I guess you need the soul. So what you do is you ride the old so turn start, you draw a card. Whatever your Vanguard is, we don't care. You ride her, and then you go into Bad Bounty, right? Am I getting this correctly? In your drop zone, specifically your drop zone, you have one copy of this, or two if you want, doesn't really matter. You have one of these bitches in the drop zone, and then you basically ride into that. So to get the you know, the multiple Vanguard stuff. That ain't too bad. I fucksy. I fucksy with that. See, it's basically just better Limit Break. Have a good night, stay safe, stay awesome, stay positive, love yourself, and all that greatness. Wow.